The boys' Supe virus looks pointless right now, but just wait 2 more weeks. As The Boys Season 5's ending edges closer, we're just 2 weeks away from finding out how this epic superhero series ends after 7 years of tense drama. Ever since the beginning, the boys have tried and failed to take down Homelander, but they finally came up with a weapon that could actually kill him: the Supe virus. Engineered by Dr. Samir Shah, the Supe virus looked capable of killing anyone with compound V in their blood, although there was a severe risk that it could be contagious and affect all Supes. Upon testing the virus, the group confirmed that it was as deadly as they hoped, but the boys' rare V1 chemical provided immunity, hence why Soldier Boy survived. This made it crucial that the protagonist prevented Homelander from getting this substance. Yet despite the group crafting a plan with Sister Sage in Season 5's latest episode, the central villain managed to acquire and inject V1 into his system anyway. While this could still have some side effects, at the very least, it does render the virus useless against Homelander. As a result, the boys' ace in the hole feels completely pointless now and makes 2 seasons' worth of work all for nothing, giving them no clear way of taking down their main foe. In terms of creating a bleak and desperate atmosphere, Episode 6's conclusion couldn't be better, but the virus becoming ineffective does feel like a waste. However, while many fans may be quick to dismiss this creation entirely and think we won't see it again, there may be more to the story. Sure, it's no longer relevant in regard to taking down Homelander, but one character may still have a use for it, setting up a potentially sinister finale. Despite knowing that they can't take on Homelander head-on, the boys have continued looking for ways to harm the Seven's leader throughout the series, with the Supe virus seeming like their best shot. Unfortunately, The Boys Season 5, Episode 6's ending shattered this plan, when Soldier Boy shockingly gave the V1 to his son. With Homelander immune, there isn't an immediate use for the Supe virus, as, despite it being able to take down other Supes like the Deep and Sister Sage, this is hardly worth sacrificing Annie, Kimiko, and Butcher's lives for, as well as Ryan and the Gen V group. Therefore, all the time spent crafting this weapon now feels worthless. It wasn't just time and energy they wasted, as the gang risked their lives trying to create this virus and prevent Homelander from getting V1, making Though the Heavens Falls ending that little bit more agonizing. The boys have also had several rifts throughout this arc, particularly during Season 4 when Butcher showed zero remorse. Their latest efforts to take down Homelander have continued putting them at odds, causing big changes in personalities, such as becoming more like Butcher and Starlight losing hope. The boys even fought one another inside Fort Harmony, which almost ended in disaster, showing just how much of a toll it has taken on the team. Had this all at least led to them finally besting Homelander, the pain and sacrifice might have felt worthwhile. Instead, Butcher, Frenchie, and Kimiko watched on helplessly, as Soldier Boy handed Homelander the one thing that rendered the boys' plan a failure, making them more vulnerable than ever. It's one of the only times Butcher has looked legitimately scared, and while the Supe virus may feel useless for now, this entire sequence sets up an even more exciting conclusion to the season. If the boys had their way, Homelander would be slowly succumbing to the Supe virus during his upcoming speech at the Democratic Church of America, leading to a well-earned yet slightly unsatisfying death. Naturally, this would give our main characters peace, even if some of them also died from the virus. But it's not the Homelander death we're all expecting. Something about this just feels too easy, despite everything the boys have been through, making the fact that they have to find a new way to beat Homelander that much more interesting. Some of the group will understandably begin to give up and feel hopeless, but this is exactly the sort of vibe Season 5's ending should have. Rather than crafty plans and infiltration missions, we need to see these heroes go all in on trying to kill Homelander, no matter the cost. Something like Temp 5 could return in a last-ditch effort to fight back, despite the risk this substance poses, while characters like Ryan, the Gen V crew, and even Queen Maeve could reunite with the boys. Tracking down V1 and attempting to use the Supe virus was entertaining, but it didn't set up the all-or-nothing stakes that we have now. Taking down Homelander looks close to impossible, but that's exactly how it should be, since his eventual fall will feel all the more shocking and deserved. there are still a handful of characters around capable of killing Homelander in The Boys Season 5, and his death needs to feel personal, rather than going out via a virus while the main characters watch from afar. Therefore, trying to find a new way to defeat the antagonist is easily the best story Season 5 could end with. While unlikely, the current direction sets up the slim possibility of Homelander winning, which is a scary prospect, but one that audiences shouldn't be able to rule out. And no matter how The Boys concludes, it's hard to predict exactly what will happen with the virus becoming less useful, making the last 2 episodes must-see TV. Just because the Supe virus can't be used against Homelander doesn't mean The Boys is done with this weapon just yet. Assuming Homelander is eventually killed, it won't necessarily be the last of the show's conflict, as Butcher's obsession could go beyond simply his long-term adversary. He hasn't exactly made his hatred for Supes unknown, having vocally voiced his disregard for the likes of Annie and Kimiko, even claiming that Supes aren't human. These internal beliefs make it difficult to imagine that Butcher will be done with his vendetta against Supes just because Homelander dies, even though he is one himself. Having accepted death before, his next move may be to stop any other Supes from committing the atrocities Vought has allowed, hence returning to the virus. Regardless of whether he acts in secret or announces his plan to the rest of the boys, Season 5 could end with Butcher embracing his dark side and turning on those he holds dearest. He knows how badly Huey and Frenchie would hurt if they lost their partners, and releasing this virus would likely kill Ryan, breaking his promise to Becca. However, since Butcher has grown more like Homelander throughout The Boys, there's no reason he won't go to these same extremes in order to complete his mission. Of course, the rest of the boys would inevitably try to stop him, but either way, the Supe virus could still come into play in the finale. So, for those who think the boys' Supe virus storyline may have been completely pointless, it's worth keeping an eye out for its return, just in case Butcher's scorched earth promise goes beyond Homelander's death. Thank you for watching. Write what you think about it. Subscribe to the channel.